Hello everyone, thanks for tuning into Sin's Workshop. I hope you're all having a wonderful day. So today we are going to be reviewing Seasons of Chaos by El Casamano. This is a sequel to Seasons of the Storm. The first one started as a Jack Frost retelling, and that's why I picked it up. And when I found out there was a sequel, I was like, what? Because the first book, it closes the chapter pretty much. I hate to say it, but you can stop at book one. I really enjoyed book one, and that's why I picked up book two. But book one really has a really solid ending to it. So this book is just kind of superfluous. And I say that liking it. I really did enjoy the book overall. I thought it was fast-paced. I like how it has changed the story in a way. It has developed it more. I will say that much. Developed the mythos between Kronos and Gaia and all that stuff. You know, if you're someone who likes Greek mythology, you're really going to like that aspect of the story. However, it was predictable. You're going to know within a minute of reading the book, so this isn't really going to be a spoiler. Fleur becomes the new Gaia, and Jack becomes the new Kronos. I mean, that's just the obvious direction of the story, so I don't really feel like that's a spoiler. It's kind of obvious from the get-go. When once they die, you're like, oh, okay, this is what's going to happen. It's kind of predictable. I knew it. I saw it coming a mile away. So in that respect, I mean, it's superfluous. You know, it's not really an essential read. You can stop at book one, and I think book one is phenomenal. This one, it's still good. It's just extra. It's like that cherry on top that you don't really need, but you kind of want. And that's going to be for each their own, because I was looking at the reviews. A lot of people really did not like this book. I always like to look at reviews to be like, well, there's some points that, I really like that I really want to talk about, or something that's kind of contentious that I would like to address. A lot of people felt like this was superfluous in a bad way, and that's why I'm commenting on it. And that's why I'm saying it's not necessary. If you love the first book, you don't need to read this book. I loved it. Don't get me wrong. I really did enjoy the book. I gave it 4 stars. I am giving it 4 stars. I think the pacing is really good. And I like that we are seeing these characters again. We're seeing Jack and Fleur, Amber, Julio, Chill, and Poppy. Yeah. Poppy's her name. You're seeing the next stages in their life. And you're discovering, yes, your favorite characters are getting their happily ever afters. That's great. I love that. I'm just like, God, I hope these characters last forever. And they are. I mean, they're immortal. They're the embodiments of the seasons. Amber's fall, Julio's summer, Fleur was spring, and Jack was winter in the first book. But he gave up his power to save his friend Chill, who was his handler. And then he became Fleur's handler, which is great because they were like forbidden love. And now they're together forever. But now he has to deal with not having magic. He's mortal now, and he doesn't really know how to be mortal anymore because he misses having magic. He misses being powerful. And now he can't do anything to protect his girlfriend from the people who want a return of the old regime and not the new regime. He feels powerless. He feels helpless. So the book is all about him. And yes, I like the relationship between him and Fleur. She's like, yeah, but you've got me. And I see where he's coming from. He wants autonomy. He doesn't want to have to rely on her. And he also doesn't want to be baggage for her. He wants to be able to be her partner. He wants to be able to do his part to take care of her. He has a lot that he has to unpack, and I understand where he's coming from. He had all this power. Now he has to learn to live without this power. And now I don't think it's, oh, he has to like rely on the girl. It's more of he can't do his part to protect her sufficiently, in his opinion, It's, I don't think I'm saying what I want to say properly. I have it written down here, but it's not coming out here. It's here and it's here, but it's not coming out. He has to go on this journey, he has to find himself again outside of the magic. He has to regain who he was. And it's a lot for him to handle, especially with Doug, who kills Kronos, the new Kronos, and wants to bring back the old regime, and he's hunting them. Like, he is gung-ho, ready to kill them. So, they're on the run, they get separated, it's a whole lot. There's a really good pacing. I do like the development of the story. I do like that we are further developing the characters. But I will agree with some of the reviews. It is extra. It's not necessary. You don't need to read this book. Because when I found out there was a sequel, I was like, what? I thought the first book ended like it. The sequel was not even on my radar after I read the first book. Wasn't even on my radar. It didn't leave off on a cliffhanger. It had a really good solid ending. The sequel wasn't necessary. So you don't have to read the sequel. If you want to stop at the first book, you liked it but you didn't love it, you can stop. You don't have to continue it. But if you love a Jack Frost retelling and you like some Greek mythology and some high stakes, fast paced, character development, because I do think that there is a lot of character development. I do think that there is a lot of growth. Fleur seems like a completely different person than she was in the first book. I mean, she just seems like a completely different person, and I thought that was really cool. So the characters have gone on a journey. They are developing, and they are still developing, especially because now they have to take on these new roles, and it's just, whoo, it's a lot. But it's a really good ending. It's a really good conclusion to a duology. I like the Greek mythology mythos with how Gaia and Kronos play, with how the seasons work, and how it kind of revolves around a Jack Frost retelling. I think that was really cool. So I liked it. I personally liked it. I personally gave it 4 stars, but I understand why a lot of people didn't. To each their own. Literature's art is subjective. In any case, thank you all for tuning in and joining me here. Please don't forget to like, subscribe, and share with all your book loving friends. I hope you all have a wonderful rest of your day, and as always, happy reading.